do that right now while I am thinking of it. So again, welcome. Thank you for taking time out of your evening to join us here to learn about Seesaw. Now, to get this slide deck that I shared with you, all you have to do is click on that bit.ly link in the chat, and it should open up in a new tab. If it doesn't, you can copy and paste it. But if you do copy and paste it and put it in a tab, it should show up. So I'm in a Google Chrome web browser, and then I'm going to paste it up here at the top of the screen in the Omnibox, and that should allow you to open it if I did the settings correctly. So it looks like I did do the settings correctly, but in case if you have any issues, again, I can help you at the end to make sure that you have access to it. So right here, you guys are all coming in as anonymous animals. So it looks like some of you are able to get on this. If you are seeing my screen take up your entire screen, you could double click here to exit full screen, or at the top of your page in the middle, I think there's a spot where you can click on maybe the three dots, or it may say exit full screen, and you can do that too. But if you were able to access the slide deck, a couple things you could do. You could come up here to the top, and do you see to the top right where my mouse is on the star? If I wanted to, I could bookmark this tab, so then I could go to my bookmarks and access it later. So if I bookmarked it, I could put it on my bookmark bar, and then it would show up right here, and then I could go and click on it and have access to it later. Another thing, if you're familiar with the Google Drive, you could save this into your Google Drive. And right here where my mouse is to the right of the title, it looks like a triangle with a plus sign. Someone said the other day it's the recycle symbol. I'm like, oh, okay. Never thought of it that way. But it's also the Google Drive symbol. So what I could do, I could add this shortcut to my drive to access it later as well. So a couple different ways of how to save this for you to access it later. Any questions on that? All right. So let me go ahead and go back to this screen here. Now, while everyone's trying to get situated here, if you want in chat, kind of let us know a couple things here. One thing that you or your child like about Seesaw, or if you're brand new to Seesaw, please put that in chat as well. Or one thing that challenges you or your child about Seesaw. So go ahead and if you have any thoughts on either of those, go ahead and put those in chat as well. And then our rules of engagement for tonight. This is only an hour long because your time is very valuable, but I do want to let you know you will have these slides to go back to later, and I did remember to press record so that you will have this recording to go back to later. So don't be so hard on yourself if you don't remember everything. So if we go too fast, please put it in chat. If you want us to review something else or you have a question, put it in chat. If I don't see it there, feel free. We've got a small group tonight. You can unmute yourself, or Stephanie, feel free to jump in and let me know what the questions are as well. All right, so as you guys answered that in chat, people like being able to communicate with their child's teacher. Some people are brand new. Okay. All right, so it looks like a lot of people are brand new to Seesaw, so perfect. Hopefully this will help you get started on your journey and understand helping your child a little bit better, and to be able to communicate with your child's teacher as well. So a couple things, we'll talk about Seesaw, an overview of it. We'll look at the family app and the settings, how you can change things so that maybe you're not getting all of the notifications. And then we'll talk about the Seesaw class app that your child uses. So I'm not going to be talking to you from the slide deck the whole evening. I'm going to jump into the actual app, the Seesaw app and the family app, to show you from there. I do want to show you a couple other things here. Here on slide 6, I've got some links here. The recording will be on this YouTube channel, and then I believe Stephanie or Jessica will also email that out to people who registered or participated in this event tonight. And then one other thing right here, whoops, my mouse is just wanting me to go ahead here. This LTC Spark here on slide 6, here's a link to a parent hub of other resources, and it's being continual, things are being added to it all the time. So the LTC Spark is just supporting parents and remote kids, and got some parent training here. And then if you keep scrolling down, we've got the Parent Resource Hub. So I saw someone said that they also use Google Classroom. So again, you've got some information on Google here, and you can see on the left-hand side, Microsoft, Canvas, Schoology, Seesaw, and Zoom. So if you don't get all of your questions answered tonight, or later on you've got questions about Seesaw, you could go here and see if you can get your questions answered as well. And where was that at? This was linked here on slide 6. It's the LTC Spark webpage. Real quick, a little bit about myself. My name is Lisa Schwartz, and this is my 22nd year in education. I did spend the first 19 years in the classroom teaching 6th through 9th grade. And currently I am the Regional Ed Tech Coordinator here in West Central Illinois for the Learning Technology Center. So work with school districts and teachers and ROEs on their needs around technology. And I also have 2 boys that are in school. So trying to navigate this world right now, even as a parent, can be challenging as well, just like what you guys are experiencing. So if you want to learn more about the LTC, there's our mission. But we're going to go ahead and jump into Seesaw right here. And I'm going to just skip to slide 10 here. Slide 9 has a video if you want to take a look at it later. It's about less than 2 minutes. It's just showing you kids interacting with Seesaw. But I'm going to jump here to slide 10 and and want to ask you, what do you see in this picture? So here's students in the classroom. Is this how you would do things when you were a child, when you were in a classroom? What do you see differently? What do you see maybe the same? Feel free to put that in chat. And the kids are interacting with Seesaw, some of them. As you can see, some are on tablets there. I don't want to say too much here, give you a chance. Yeah, many of us didn't always have those tablets when we were in school, but yeah, good comment, Cindy. So with these students here, as you can see, some are standing, some are sitting, but they are, it looks like they're engaged. They're not bothering each other. Some kids are writing on the whiteboard their math problem, and then it looks like maybe some are maybe taking a picture. And then even though we can't hear what's going on, with Seesaw, it does allow them to not only take a picture, but they could record their voice. They could even do a video recording of their problem if they wanted to. So lots of different ways to interact with Seesaw. And what's nice about this is it does make their thinking visible. So whether the students are in class or whether they are at home, we can see if the student really understands the work, or if they're just cheating off of their neighbor. Oh, they see, oh, their neighbor right here got 16 for this answer, and she's doing the same exact problem. She could just, copy that down. But then when we go and listen to her explain the math problem there and how she arrived at that answer, we can see, does she really understand it? Or, did she get the answer from somebody else? Or even did someone else do the work for them? So what is Seesaw? It started out many years ago. I don't know the exact date. If anybody wants to Google that and let me know, or let us know, that would be great. But it started out as a learning journal where parents and grandparents and family members could see what their child was working on during the day. So not only could they share it with family members, but they could even share it with other classmates. Sometimes teachers set it up as a station in their classroom. And when we went to remote learning, the 100% remote learning here back in March, teachers use Seesaw as basically like a learning management system to house all of their work. So it's kind of evolved during this time of remote learning. And as you can see in this picture here, the students can interact with Seesaw using all of these different tools here. They could upload files. They could take a photo, like we saw in that picture that some of the kids were taking photos of their math work. They can do a drawing, and then on that drawing, they could record their voice. They could take notes. They can insert a link, and they can even take a video. So what's nice about this is all of these tools are housed right in Seesaw. They don't have to go and use another app or other tools on their device to be able to do that. So it makes it easier for any child, for any adult. I like the Seesaw platform even for myself to do some things. Here on slide 12, I just wanted to push this out here about, you know, sometimes we forget about the average attention span of students, of your child, especially if they are 100% remote. So over here, it's average, but if you look at the age here, the average attention span, whoops, my mouse, okay, there we go. For a 12-year-old is 24 to 36 minutes. So I've got this posted, so I keep this fresh in my mind because I've got a 13-year-old now. So I've got to remember that when he's working on assignments that, hey, give him breaks, and this is his average attention span. Now, sometimes depending on what he's doing, could he go longer? He could, but I notice once it gets close to 30 minutes on work that if it's not something that he's too excited about learning, that 30 minutes, it seems like we need a break. I don't know if you guys see that with your own children. So again, Seesaw gives the chance for your child to interact with the content. Again, you know, like what we saw in that photo, the kids interacting with, you know, completing a math problem and then going further and maybe talking about it rather than just writing about it. Here on slide
Lisa,
yeah.
it's Stephanie. Can I ask you a quick question?
You sure can.
So you were talking about attention span, and Cindy in the chat said, do you mean attention span on a device? And I just want to clarify, like I said, I think that's in general, but I just wanted to make sure that I was on the right track.
Yeah, you're correct, Stephanie.
Okay.
Yeah, this is in general. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for saying that. All right, and then going here on slide 14, we've got I put this in here, some tutorial videos for your child. So does your child have to watch these? No, but I put these in there in case if this might help you as well to go back to later. So let's jump into the Family app. Now with the Family app, this is different than the app your child will use to complete the activities. If you go here on slide 16, I went ahead and put down, there's two different apps out there. So there's a Family app that you will need to download, or you can you know, go through the web to get it, or you know, to communicate with your child's teacher. And then there's a class app that your child will go through and log in to do their work. And with the family communication, this is only when the teacher pushes things out to you, you will only see your child's work. No other parent in the group will see your child's work. And then if the teacher posts a message to you, you will only see that message, and then you can message your teacher back. Now, the teacher may post announcements and it goes out to everyone, but when you reply back to that teacher, that message will only go to the teacher and not to the whole group. Here on slide 17 and 18, it goes into more detail about the difference between the class app and the family app. And then what's nice here on slide 19 and 20, with the family apps. So I'll get into that here in a moment. The families, again, you only see your child's learning. You can have up to 10 family members connect with your child's Seesaw account so that you would see what they are doing. So if you have a blended family, you have grandparents, aunts or uncles that want to see, you can get them all added. So I'm just looking here, here on this last bullet point here. And what's nice about this, as long as you have set your device to your native language, it will be automatically translated into that language. So Seesaw translations up to 50 plus languages. I think it's about 55, and I think they keep adding more to it and updating it. One other thing with the family app is you as a parent can even create attachments to messages similar to what your child can create in the class app. But in order to get on the family app, you have to connect to your child's journal. There's a couple different ways to do it. In this case, the teacher sent me an email. So it says Cole's teacher has invited you to his journal. I have to connect to his journal. I have to click on that in order to connect to it. Now, I can sign up. If I have a Google account, I can sign in with my Google account. But if I don't have a Google account, that's fine. I can just fill this out and create my Seesaw family account right here. So then here on slide 22, I've got, there's 3 tabs up here, the home, journals, and inbox. We're gonna talk about the home tab, and I'm gonna switch over to the home family app here. So let me pull that up here. All right, so here's the family app. And right up here at the top of the screen, I've got the home tab, the journals, and the inbox. If you look right here, it shows this is the family app, okay? And let me first talk about the home tab. Let me see if I can close this out. Okay. So if you don't have the family app yet, you can download it on the App Store here or even get it on Google Play. And you can access this from your phone or tablet as well. Tonight I'm accessing it from my MacBook here. So if I want to see what Dorothy did today, right here, if this was pushed out here on the family app, I can see here's what Dorothy did in her response to activity 2, show your math. So here's what she added, 2 + 2 = 4. If I keep scrolling down, I can see all of her work on here. And again, this is just Dorothy's work that I am seeing. Now, if you have multiple kids, I'll talk about that here in a moment. But you can interact with what your child does on the Seesaw Family app. So let me go back up to this one. So based off of this activity right here, what I could do, so this is what Dorothy did. Right down here, if you see, this was in her pre-K class. I know this isn't pre-K work, but I just put it to a folder. A teacher could tag it to a folder, and then, or this is the class, and then here to the right are folders. So either the teacher or the child put this in the conference folder if they want to maybe talk about this during conferences. And then since this was a math activity, this was also tagged into the math folder. Now you as a parent, if the teacher has this turned on, you will be able to like your child's assignment, kind of like on social media out there if you like a post, and you will also be able to comment. So if I want to, I can click on like. If I look right here, likes have been disabled for this class. So for some reason, the teacher turned that off. Just like the teacher's trying to give your child choice in their learning, Seesaw is giving teachers choice as well, as letting them to turn on the like, the like and the comment. So even though like is showing up there, it's not letting me like that assignment. If I come over here to comment, it's letting me enter a comment for my child. So I can enter a comment two different ways. I can type a comment here, or I can even do a voice comment. So if I click on the microphone right here, I could go ahead and start typing a voice, or start saying what I want to say by click on this button here at the bottom of the screen, the microphone, and it gives me 2 minutes to record a message to my child. And then it shows that I've talked for 8 seconds there. If I like that, then I can just go ahead and hit pause to the far right. And then what I can do with this, then I can replay it to listen to it back. And if I like it, then I can click on this green circle with the check mark in it for it to accept it. If I don't like it, I've got some choices here. I've got the trash. I can delete it. I could also, if I click on these 3 dots here, I could download it if I wanted to download the file for some reason. And then the other thing here, let's say, I talked for 10 seconds and I want to add a few more things to it. I can come back over here to the microphone to the far right, click on it, and then it starts recording again. So again, I've got 2 minutes, click the pause in the far right, it's processing, and then if I like it, I can go ahead and click on that. Now, the other thing the teacher did to set this up was the teacher chose to have pending approval. The teacher wants to see and hear all of the comments before they accept them. So it will show pending approval here until the teacher accepts them. Now, yours may not show up that way. The teacher may have enabled, hey, if you're willing to take the time to comment on your child's work, go ahead and put it out there. They don't need to manage all of the comments. They have enough to do. Again, sometimes if you, let's say it was a week ago and you still see this pending approval, maybe your child's teacher doesn't realize that they have to approve your comments. So maybe have a conversation, ask them, hey, I put a comment on there. Can you approve it so my child can see it? The other thing, so with this assignment here that Dorothy completed, do you see up right here in the upper right-hand corner, it says 1 of 2. So sometimes there could be multiple pages. So if you click on these arrows here, it will take it to the second page. And in this case, there is a second page, but there's nothing there. But your child could have multiple pages for one activity here. Another thing here on the Home tab, if you click on these 3 dots in the lower right-hand corner of their activity, you can do 4 things with this. So you could post this and get a QR code. You could print this activity if you wanted a printed copy of it. You could share this post and it gives you a link to share it out there. And you could then also save it if you would like to save it to your computer or wherever you would like to save it. But you have those 4 options. Again, anytime with Seesaw, I know some of you said you are familiar with Google, but anytime you see 3 dots, whether it's in the Google environment or Seesaw environment, click on those because that means that there's a menu there of other options for you to interact with that, in this case with this activity. Now, so again, if I keep scrolling down or up, I can see all of the work of Dorothy's. If you keep looking down, so here on this one, this is Dorothy's, but this is from this classroom. So I could, when I go to the home page here, I see all of the work. There's a way I can separate that out here in a second, and I will show you. If I click right here, like, remember like has been disabled, but let me see, like has not been disabled for this class. So it shows, hey, the lion, the family here liked Dorothy's assignment here. So if I want to click that and take that off, I can. So in this classroom, that has been enabled. So again, if it's disabled for some reason, maybe the teacher didn't realize they disabled it, and have a have a conversation with them if you would like to be able to like or comment your child's work. But I don't,
Lisa, I have a question. It's Stephanie. I have a
yeah.
question about the likes, and I am not familiar with Seesaw at all, but I wanted to do this training because my 5-year-old niece started school and she uses
Mm.
the Seesaw, so I wanted to be able to help her and then go in and look at her stuff. But do you think maybe some teachers might have disabled the likes? Maybe they didn't want, like maybe they were concerned about some kids, getting upset maybe if like, other kids were saying, oh, I got so many likes, and then maybe other kids didn't. I don't know. I was just trying to think of a reason why they might disable those.
Yeah, that could be a reason. Or the school district might have decided just to disable it all from everyone. That was just, yeah, one less thing that they have to manage.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of different reasons. And I have worked with some teachers who didn't realize that they had control over that too. So, it's always worth a conversation. I see someone in chat put down that they don't have the comments on there. And again, it's just one less thing that they have to manage. And, if you as a parent can still interact with your child's work by, if you see them every night, you could talk to them about it. But the reason why some people like the comments is especially if grandparents or other family members who don't see them every night could put a comment on here to let them know what they think of their work. So right here on this one, it shows that there's 2 comments here. This one was approved already. This one is pending approval. So it shows you that here's the family lion member commented. So it will show up which family member commented there as well. And again, if you want to, you can even, type in and then hit post. And then again, it shows what you commented. So you don't have to leave a voice message. But what I find with this, the kids love, depending on the age of the kid, if the kid can't read yet, that voice message is perfect for them to listen to. So great question. Yeah, keep the questions coming here. Here, going back to the slide deck here on slide 22, I did put some suggestions in there for leaving comments. So instead of just telling them that you liked their work, tell them what you liked about their work. The acronym TAG. So the A, ask them a question about their work maybe, or even the G, give a suggestion about their work. Like, I wonder if you maybe changed the colors or added, something else in there. Instead of just, again, letting them know I like your work, because then it also lets them maybe evaluate what they did to complete the activity, and maybe it will get them thinking, oh, maybe I should change it or add things. So that was on slide 22, and the acronym is TAG. So see if that helps you interacting with your child or grandchild a little bit more. Also here on the home tab, I just put a screenshot here. Again, when you leave a comment, that you can do a voice recording, or you could type out the message here. And on this screenshot, you can see the like was disabled. So usually that's disabled. I don't know why it's not showing up disabled and not, or why it's still showing up on my screen there of Dorothy's. Again, here, slide 24, I just did some visuals of what else you can do with the 3 dots. So that was the home tab. Let's go ahead and move to the journal tab here then. So then on the journal tab, so up here, I'm at the top of the screen, I've got journal. So I was at the home tab. As you can see on the home tab, I see all of the work. If I go to the journals here, you can see that I've got 2 kids. I've got Cole here, and I've got Dorothy, and she's in 5 classes. So right now, how I've got it set up on the home tab, I am any class that I have been accepted, I've been invited as a parent, or I added that class as a parent, it will show up on here. If I just want to see everything Dorothy's been doing in the demo class, I can click on that class and I can see, okay, Dorothy, this is all of her work for this class. So again, if I come up here to journals, If I click on Dorothy, I can go class by class. If I don't want to be overwhelmed and see everything she's done in all of her classes, then I just go up here to the journals and go class by class. The other thing here, so if you have another child, you can come up here and I can go to Cole. So Cole's in one class and I can go to his class and see what he's done. So then if I go back to home, again, if I go back to home, I see everything right here. But if I go to journals, I can break it down by one child at a time, because especially during, with some school districts, 100% remote, the teachers are pushing out all of the activities through Seesaw. So you may be looking at a lot of different activities of your kids. Now, another thing to add a child up here on the Family app, I'm in the upper right-hand corner here. If I click on Add a Child, what I can do, I can scan a QR code if the teacher gave me a QR code to scan so I could join that classroom, or I could use a link or a URL. So again, this would have to come from the child's teacher, or the child's teacher could have your email address and they could add you, and then that's when you would accept the invitation. So really, there's 3 different ways you could get your children added to the Family app. But if you do add your child, the teacher will need to approve your access though as well. So again, looked over the Home tab up here. The Journal tab is where you can see each child and separate it by class. And then if we go to the Inbox, so this is the 3rd tab up here. On the Inbox here, you can see, so even though Dorothy is in 5 classes, I'm only seeing messages from 2 of Dorothy's teachers, from this class and the pre-K class. And the reason why is, in order for you to message your child's teacher back, they have to send out a message first. So in this case, in this pre-K class, here the teacher sent a message, and then here you as a parent send a message back to them. So here it shows the teacher, your messages are here in blue, okay? And then right down here at the bottom of the screen, do you see it says message the teacher here? If I click on this plus sign to the far left, this is where I can attach items to here. So if, again, this isn't for the class app, this isn't activities your child or grandchild is completing. This is just if you want to send a message or send a note back to the teacher. So if you want to just take a photo of you and your child and send it back to the teacher, you can. You could do a drawing. So here, if I click on drawing, I can come over here, I can put a text box in. I can type in it. I can even record my voice. I can take a photo and put it here on the drawing. So you kind of get to interact with Seesaw similar to what your child is interacting with Seesaw on the class app. I've got the 3 dots here. Remember the 3 dots there? There's a menu of more choices here. So I could put a link in here, change my background, put a shape in here. So again, you got all of these tools on the left-hand side here. Also, you've got some tools on the bottom right-hand side. And these are the exact same tools your child or grandchild is using within the class app, but this is the Family app, you sending a message back to the teacher. You can, this glow pin here, my suggestion, play around with them and see what all you can do. You can come over here to the right-hand side and change the colors, and then you can just start typing or with your mouse or your touchpad, start drawing. And then again, if you like this, if this is what you want to send the teacher, up in the upper right-hand corner, click on the green circle with the check mark in it. That means go. Green means go. And then that will allow you to send this message So attach this message to the child's teacher. If this is what you like, you can hit send. You can also type something in here as well. If you don't like this, if you don't want this attached, you can click the X if you would like, but if you go ahead and hit send, it's shared with that teacher and it shows just now. Now, one thing I don't think is out there is where you have a chance to go back in and delete this after you press send. I think that's been, parents have been wanting that, but I haven't found that, and I haven't found that answer. So again, Seesaw is constantly updating, listening to parents and teachers and students on how they can update features that would make this much easier. So again, with the messages, you can't go and message a child's teacher until that child sends a message first. Up here in the left-hand corner right here, it says only you and this teacher can see this message, okay? So if there's other teachers on this, they can't even see that message. So sometimes teachers have it set up, there's co-teachers on some of these, some of the Seesaw classes, and in this case, the head teacher right now can see this message. So these are messages only you and the teacher can see. So then if I go down here to the other class, I can see messages and then attachments that we've sent back and forth, okay? Now, if you look over here on the right-hand side, so I'm in the inbox, you see these messages here. So if you have 10 different classes here, they would all show up right here. If I go to notifications, if I click on this notification tab, I would get notified if my child updated items, was tagged in an item. So here it shows Dorothy updated some items. I can see the date. I can see what she updated. I can see, I think one of them, she was tagged in an item. So that means that if your child's tagged in an item, then they can work on this with another student. So if you look up here at the top of the screen, it shows Dorothy and Sample S's post. So 2 students worked on this activity together. So if they're tagged in an item, that means that they have, they might have collaborated with another student on it. So that's what notifications are. Sometimes if you've got notifications, it'll be like a little red circle up here of how many new notifications you have up there. Notifications will also show up right here to the right of your family icon here. So again, we've got the home tab, the journals, and the inbox. I've got a lot of this spelled out on the slide deck, so don't panic. Another thing I want to talk about here is in the family. If I click on the family, I'm in the far left-hand corner here. If I click on that, it brings up a couple things here. I can add a child's journal right here as well. And then also I've got account settings, and then I have this gear. If I go into this gear, it'll bring up my account settings as well, but let me go into the gear to show you. If you're needing support, you can contact Seesaw support from right from here. Here's some information here. You can even sign out. If you've got different accounts with this, which many of you probably want it, you could even switch back and forth. But let me go into the account settings. So all of you will have the account settings. So you can change your profile name and your display name. So here I did the Wizard of Oz theme for this pre-K class. So the display name I chose was Lion. And then here's the icon. So you can put a family photo here if you want. You don't have to, but if you click on that icon, you can take a picture with the camera, or you can even upload an image. You can change the theme to a different color. Here's your email. You can put a phone number in if you want. You don't have to, because if you do tie a phone number to this, you could get these notifications and messages on your phone if you want. You don't have to do that. Here, this is just try Seesaw Plus. They'll give you, I don't think you'll see this part for the family app. if I keep scrolling down here for the parent notifications, so right now you can have it set up that you get notified via email for every notification that's sent to Seesaw. If you don't want more emails in your email box, then put never, because you can still get all of those notifications here in the inbox on the family app over to the right. But if you don't check Seesaw all the time and you check email and you want all of the notifications to go to email, you have that choice to turn that on. So do you want it every time that you get a notification? Do you want an email, or do you just want it once per day and get one email with all of the notifications from that day? So you've got some choice. Push notifications, again, if you want those notifications to show up on your tablet or computer, and or you've got SMS notifications as well if you want that short message to come through on your text messaging if you put a phone number in. Here, where you can manage children, so if you need to remove a child, you can do that as well. And then you can even download the journals from year to year if you would like. So again, where did I go for account settings? Up here in the top left-hand corner, the family. If I click on that, I can go to account settings a couple different ways. I can just go here, and then I can scroll down to look at all of these account settings. Okay, I know that was a lot. And okay, there we go. I froze up there for a second. What questions do you have about the family app? Or comments? Any comments or questions? So going back here to the slide deck that I've shared with you, you've got here on slide 26, this shows you about the inbox tab. And then slide 28 and 29 talks about the family account settings as well.
I do have a question about the things that our kids are tagged in or that they post or whatever. Are we able to see things that they are assigned or things that they are working on?
To be able to do that, you would have to have them sign into their Seesaw app so you can see real time what they're working on.
Is there any way to link those two things so that I can see what she's working on in real time in the family app?
Good question. The last time I checked, there wasn't, and that was a couple weeks ago. Does anybody, Emily, great question. Anybody else know the answer to Emily's question? How I've always done it in the past is I would have, my child log into the class app, and I know some parents have the class app on their device as well, so that they can keep tabs on them, especially if their kids are remote, 100% remote, and maybe they are at work, but they're able to check in on what the kids are doing.
That's what I'm currently doing is I'll log into hers to see what's going on. It would be very helpful if I didn't have to switch back and forth.
Yeah, I agree. Right now, that's how Seesaw's got it set up, unless if they came out with a new workaround. I will tell you, Seesaw has been coming out with, updates and changing things, and it's hard to keep up with all of the updates as well. So maybe you as a parent as well can suggest that to Seesaw too, because that's how, with Seesaw, they can push out updates at any time, and they do listen to kids, teachers, parents of what they would like to see updated or changed. So yeah, great question, Emily. And if you've got more questions, feel free to ask. Here on slide 29, I do want to share this with you. This is what the teachers see. So I talked about earlier, some of you have access to like your child's work or comment on it. I know someone put in chat that they can't comment on their child's work, but they can like it. Right over here on the right-hand side here, again, you won't see this, but this is on the teacher side of it. This is where they can enable things. And I know Seesaw, for some teachers, they're learning it just along with their students, just like you're learning it along with your child. They may not know that they either turned this on or off. So again, if you would like to be able to do some of these, have a conversation with them, send them a message and ask, hey, can I be able to like my child's work or comment on it? So again, right here, this new comments require approval. Again, if the teacher doesn't want to have to manage that, they can turn that off so that as soon as you make a comment on your child's work in the family app, it will be posted and your child can see that right away. And then over here, if you look at this family settings here, they do have to enable family access. Again, some schools or teachers for some reason may not, it may not go along with their district policy. Have a conversation, find out why or why not. And right here, they do, again, if you're adding your child, they do have to approve pending family approvals. So again, if you see after a week that they haven't approved it, again, shoot them an email, let them know, hey, I am done this, can you approve it? So slide 28 was your family account settings, and slide 29 is the teachers and how your Seesaw class could be different between your kids. It could be different between, if your child has a few different teachers, it could look a little bit different. All right, what I'm going to go, if anybody else has questions, feel free to put it in chat. Or you can unmute. I just looked at the time. We've got, this hour went fast. Real quick, here on slide 31, this is the class app that your child interacts with Seesaw with, and they can use these 6 different tools built right into Seesaw. And how I've got this slide deck set up, because I won't go through all of it tonight, but it's just there for you to help you if you need help. Slide 32, this shows that your child can take a photo. And here's some examples of what they could take a photo of or what the teacher may ask them. Here on slide 33, if they're needing to take a photo of their family here, do you see in this yellow circle, there's 3 different places they could click on the camera to take the photo. So again, it's trying to make it accessible wherever, one spot might be easier for some kids to use that photo button, the camera button, to take that photo. Here on slide 34, we've got Allie took a picture of her writing. And what's nice about this then, especially if, whether the students are remote or even face-to-face, the teacher may not get around to each student all of the time to, talk to them about their writing. So what Allie could do then is, after she wrote it, she could record herself saying this back, or she could draw on it. Here on slide 35, this is, them taking a photo of 3D shapes in the room. So how I've got this set up, so this next slide 36, this talks about them creating a drawing and what they can do. And then underneath the next slides there, under create a drawing, have some other examples there. So feel free, you've got that to take a look at each of the tools that your child can do and interact with Seesaw. Here on slide 57, so I jumped through a bunch there. On slide 57, here's some other resources out there that you may be interested in. just to, if you wanted to learn more about Seesaw as a parent. And I know I've got some teachers who have joined us too, so some of these resources might help you as a teacher. But let me jump in here to Seesaw from the kids' perspective for a couple minutes. So right here, I've got Dorothy's pulled up. So if your child has 5 different classes of Seesaw, is that okay? That sure is. All they have to do to go back and forth between the classes is come over here to the left-hand side to their name and go down to whatever class they need to. You see right here, she's got 22 notifications. If I click on one class at a time, it shows 6 notifications for this class. It also shows me 6 notifications over here. That means I'm on the right-hand side now. The 6 with the activities, that means there's 6 activities she needs to complete. What's nice about this is they can start an activity and it'll save as a draft and they can go back and finish it. They don't have to start it and submit it right away. So you can see on this one, this morning message and check-in, on this activity, it shows it's one draft. And then here, Dorothy, she started it. She can go in and finish her response right here. Okay, so it looks like it shows that instead of taking a photo over here, she just drew how she's feeling today. Here's what she's saying she's most proud of. Now, again, depending on the age of the child, if they can type it, great. If not, you've got the voice recording that we can hear them say it. They could also record, take a recording. One nice thing about this as well, even as an adult learner, sometimes I forget the instructions. They don't have to open up a new tab. They can come up here to the top of the page and view the instructions right here. And then here's the instructions. The teacher even voice recorded the instructions. So your child can click play the instructions.
Morning message and check-in.
And then stop it. And then go and do whatever they need to do. Go back. And then
Morning.
And play it where they could fast forward it to where they need to go. And then if they're ready, then right now she could go ahead and click on the green circle in the upper right-hand corner to submit it. And then it just shows then it's waiting for the teacher's approval. So the teacher has to approve it that before it's posted out there on the journal. So again, kind of like with the family app, you had some tabs at the top. You had the home, journal, and inbox. Your child will have some tabs over here to the right to interact with. So usually during remote learning, they can't see any other child's work. They can only see their own. But sometimes during face-to-face, a teacher may have it set up where each child can see other kids' work. And then again, now that activities here, that number went down to 5 because she submitted 1 activity. So she's got 5 activities to do. Again, Dorothy has the inbox here. So this is where the teacher can send out messages. And then there could be, here's the blog. So the teacher could set up a blog so that this is published out there to certain, it could be published out on the web, but it could be protected by a password as well. So again, got the blog there, but you may not see that on your child's. So this is the class app. And this is what your child logs into to complete the activities. Like Emily was saying earlier, right now you can't, on the family app, see all of this that you can see on the class app. So I think how Emily has it set up that she's got her child's class app so she can log in and see as well. That's right now probably the best way to do that. Also over here under activities, I can go see the to-do activities that my child needs to do. And then if I click on done, I can see what my child has completed, and it shows done here. And if they need to go back in and do anything else with it, it shows that they can respond again and add more files to that assignment. So again, this was a lot to take in. You just remember you've got the slide deck that you can go back to. You'll get this recording as well. And feel free, you can email Stephanie or myself, or email Seesaw for any questions or help that we can be assistance to you for. On slide 58, I do have an evaluation here. I think it's 4 questions. If you have time to fill that out from the slide deck, that would be great. If not, I did put it in chat as well. Don's asked a great question here in chat. Is there a way to delete or put messages in a folder that have been read? Good question. So on the family app or the class app, or both? I don't, let's see. You can delete the announcement here. This is the teacher. Let me go to the kids side. So one nice thing about this on the teacher side, you can see who's seen the announcements. But okay, so this is a kid's side. If we go to the inbox, yeah, they don't have the 3 dots to move it. So what the teacher might do then, after they send out a lot of messages here, they go in and delete them so it's not overwhelming. Because I don't see a way on the kids' side of how they could put the messages in the folder or delete them. So great question, Don. And that's what we'll find here with Seesaw. There's things that can be improved, because again, when Seesaw first came out, it was just, a lot of teachers were using it as a station in the classroom for them, for the kids to interact with material, maybe when the teacher was working with another small group. So the teacher couldn't work with them one-on-one, but this was a chance then if they recorded themselves, their voice, or did a video camera, then the teacher could see, okay, does this child really know what they're doing on this assignment? Or is this something that the teacher needs to go back and reteach? So as we're seeing that many school districts are using this as a learning management system and pushing out announcements and assignments through here, everyone's learning ways to better navigate this, and Seesaw is, constantly trying to update and make this better for everyone to interact with. So great questions, and yeah, all of the improvements you want to see Seesaw have, let Seesaw know. They do listen. I will go ahead and stop the recording right now in case if anybody is shy with it being recorded.